Welcome back to Old War Stories with Uncle Jay. This one is entitled No Tip, Part 2. I had an Old War story entitled No Tip. There's going to be a link, of course. You know where it is. No, you don't. It's below the video. It's got that video description thing. It's in there. Okay? The prescription, it's there. Anyways, today, in 2025, it is February 13th, the day before Valentine's Day, and there's a whiff. I actually didn't plan this, but I don't know, I kind of had a hankering. I wanted to eat something, you know? I wanted a nice dinner. And I didn't even think about the fact that it's the 13th. We do not go out on Valentine's Day at all. Because there's too many other people. The prices are jacked up. And the portions are smaller. All the games that they play, like retail does for Black Friday. Okay? This is the Black Friday of... It's a bullshit day. Go a week before, a week after, whatever it is. Anyway, it was today. I've been thinking about it. Seemed right. Pitched the idea to the whiff. Kind of thought about it. And she's like, okay. So we ended up going to Longhorn Steakhouse. I had never been there before until this past summer when, in 2024, when Sharkley took me there for fixing his AC. That was really nice, and I actually enjoyed it. Now, truth be told, I make a pretty damn good steak. Well, it sucks, you know. My steak sucks, so we have to go out to get it, okay? I don't know what else to tell you. Anyways, it was quite tasty. Wasn't the best I've ever had. Certainly not the worst. And it's certainly not the kind where you have to basically put your paycheck down to pay for the meal. So it's reasonable enough. Well, the waitress today, here's the thing. When we went to Longhorn in Connecticut, the food was good. The service was excellent. Sharkley and I had this waitress, and it's funny how it started out, because she comes up, "Hi, how are you?" "Oh, good, good." And then she says, "Can I get you the drink or the appetizer?" The accent starts. The "Hi, how are you?" And I've explained this before. I think an Old War Story, Eli's Deli, perhaps? Link in the prescription if I find it. Anyway, "Hi, how are you?" is perfect, plain, everyday English. But then as soon as they talk anything else, it's all accent. Now, I'm not against that if they're here legally and they're working, which obviously as a waitress in a chain type place like that. Okay, but I just, like, they perfect that one thing and throw me for a loop, and I'm like, ugh. But this lady was fucking funny. She had a quip about everything, and she was hilarious. And Sharkley and I had a great time, just for the waitress alone. And the food was pretty good, too. So I said, all right, well, let's give it a shot. Well, listen, this is New York, okay? We're a tough crowd, and you got tough waiters and waitresses. Today, we had Jessica. No, it's Jessica, but Jessica, and I say that, and God, I wish, and I looked already, and I don't remember what it's called. I had a video on my second channel. Did you know I had a second channel? Yeah, but Susan, back then, took over and nixed monetization on that. Old video clips that I had, not my own, all stolen from places. From way, way back in the day. All low-quality stuff, but stuff you can't get today. Nothing finely polished or anything like that. And I don't man the channel. There's a link in the prescription to that channel. Go subscribe. Anyways, I had a video there, and God, if I can't, I don't even know what it's called. And I don't know how else to search it. But some guy was in his car, he had his phone, and there was a car in front of him, and the license plate said something like JESKA. And he just got this, like, you know the type, the hair pulled back, you know, really tight, the black eyeliner, the whole thing. Hi, I'm Jessica. You know, and then he, like, goes on with all this shit, and then at the end, otherwise, you're going to talk to my dad. He owns a shopping mall. And the video just cuts off right at the end like that. I wish I could find and include that, but I just don't know what it's called. Anyways, we had her. And yes, she fit the description that guy gave. It was perfect. Hi, have you been here before? So the wife said no. I said, I have, but in another state. And she looked at me like, okay. Like, not impressed. Okay, I thought your name was Jessica, not Shania fucking Twain over here. So already she was treading on thin ice with me, just the way she looked at me. God forbid. I told you the truth. I mean, what did I do wrong, right? So anyways, we go ahead and order. And she says, okay, we got an appetizer. It comes with a salad, and you get bread, and you get, you know, a side, and then your steak of whatever kind that you get, or whatever meal you get, you know. But the steak comes with the side and a salad and all that. So the appetizer comes out first, and it was good. And at this place, they don't have the waitress bring the food. They have table runners. I don't know what else these other people do, but it was always somebody else. You know, this one, table 6, this one, table 19. You know, whatever it is, they have table runners that just run the food out to all the tables. And the waitress is like, what is she just sitting there, like fucking on Instagram or some shit? What is she literally doing? So we're sitting there. We have the appetizer. Now the salad comes out, but there's still no bread. Okay. Well, another party had sat down in the booth behind us after we arrived, and she is serving them also. And she brought bread over to them, but not to me. So we stopped her on our way back. You said you were going to bring bread. Oh, I must have forgot. And then she looks at the table. She says, do you want a refill on your drink? I said, yeah. You see it's empty. I haven't even eaten the meal yet. You don't really have to ask. See, years ago I went to another restaurant, and the waitress was fantastic because she would just walk past. She wouldn't even ask you if you wanted a refill. She would just bring it and set it on the table. You didn't have to find her, look around for her, you're dying of thirst, nothing. It just appeared. Every time a glass was empty, she brought a new one to the table. That's how it should go. Okay, I know they charge, you know, what is it, like fucking $4.79 for a fucking soda now, or something. That's the least they can fucking do. You know what it actually costs for a glass of that? Probably about 15 cents. No shit. All right, Bidenomics, 45 cents. Still, they're more, you know, they'd have to bring you 10 for them to break even on it. It's all profit. It's all profit. So there's no reason that shouldn't happen. But anyway, I was like, okay, this is going to cost you now. And finally, you know, the meal was good. The food was good. I really can't complain. But now the check comes out, and there's the line for the tip. It has three different, like gratuities listed on there: 20%, 18%, 15%. So I gave her 10%. And I'm going to explain why. Below that, I wrote slow bread inexcusable. Why? Well, when you work in a restaurant, when you work with the general public, I read about this somewhere that Chick-fil-A has this thing where everybody has a story to tell. Everybody comes from a little bit different walk of life and has fallen on hard times with this, or is really happy because something great happened in their life. Everybody has a story. Okay, well, here's mine. I worked for fucking Tiny Middle. I had a madman fucking boss. And as God is my witness, if every fucking T was dotted, every I was fucking crossed, every single last fucking thing was done perfectly, he'd still yell at me. If there was any question anywhere, and then I would just point out, no, it's right there. You're just not reading it. I wrote it. It's all there. And he would never say he was sorry. So it didn't matter, even if I did everything 100% perfect, I still would get yelled at. So when I tip, it has to be perfect. If you fuck anything up, you start losing points, and points mean dollars. And that's as simple as it gets. I will be more than happy to pay for exemplary service. Case in point, years and years ago, one of the local diners here, there was a day, I may have told this as an old war story, I don't remember. We spent, it was a hot summer day, we spent a lot of time outside, mowing the lawn. We're hot, we're sweaty, we're tired, we're hungry. We go into the local diner. We get this lady who is not the prettiest lady I've ever seen, but certainly not ugly. We'll put it that way. Okay? And, yeah, typical New York attitude. Hey, yeah, what do you want? Right? Alright, I'll get that in for you. So everything was good. The food comes out. We eat, blah, blah, blah. The whiff didn't finish hers. So the waitress comes by. And I said, oh, can we wrap that up? So she says, no. And she walks away. Did she really just say no? What just happened? If she thinks for a minute that she's going to get, and then she showed up with the box. I said to her, you completely caught me off guard with that. This was the greatest that you lifted my spirits by doing that. It was just a thing, okay? It was just a thing. And it got to the point where I gave her a nice fat tip, well over what she would normally get as a good tip. And every time that we would want to go to the diner, we would call ahead and ask if she was working. And if she was, when we go in, we would ask that she would be our waitress. And every single time I gave her a big fat tip, and she gave us exemplary service, because that is how tips work. Tips to ensure proper service. Or tip to ensure promptness. I learned that when I was in college. I don't know if it's true. It's probably a backronym, but that's what it was. So Jessica was too busy on Instagram talking about how her father owns a shopping mall And when she finally came, she said, "Oh, I must have forgotten the bread." And then she got the drinks and that. So she goes off to get that. And it's still like, oh God, if that were me, I would go, oh my God, I don't know how I possibly forgot that. Holy shit. Oh, I don't fuck up like this. I will be right back. And I would run back to the kitchen, get them drinks, get the fucking bread, and get that shit on the table as fast as possible because I don't want to start losing points, if you get what I'm saying. I don't want to get yelled at by Pat. I would make damn sure that if I did, and everybody's entitled to a mistake, it's okay, but if you take care of it right away, I might have let it go. But she just dawdled and took her fucking time. So she got banged on that. It's only right, okay? And, there's a lot of you out there who are saying, oh, well, waitresses work for tips, blah, blah, blah. Okay, good. That's fine. And I agree with you. If they're working for tips, they should earn them. If you're not giving me prompt and proper service, you don't get your full pay. It's that simple. Anyway, that was that. She also said, oh, hey, we got a survey on here. I wanted to tell her, you don't want a survey from me. Well, she's getting that too. It's not going to be 5 stars either. Sorry. You fucked up. Make me feel like you really fucked up bad and make it right immediately, and then we got something to work with. Okay, and I probably would have just let it go. Because like I said, everybody is entitled to make a mistake. But when you just fuck up and like, OMG, like, oh well. Like, I was just getting my latest selfie. She was one of those, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Work for your damn money and get your damn money. It's that simple. Anyway, that's going to do it. But it's actually kind of funny. Because when we left the restaurant, I kind of wanted to scurry out the door before she goes back, because I paid by credit card. So, you write it on the bill and sign it and the whole thing. So I wanted to kind of scurry out of there before she sees it, just so I wouldn't have to hear nothing or whatever. So we get out, and I'm like, okay, come on, let's get in the car. Let's get in the car. So I'm running over to the car, and it's just funny because remember how I said today is February 13th, the day before Valentine's Day? Well, other people had the idea. And this is also a clincher to the story. When we left, it was a half-hour wait, and there were people all over the lobby. We had come a little bit early, just after 5 we arrived. There were open tables, there were open parking spots, whatever. So people come a little bit later, and now they're busy. So what's Jessica going to fucking do now? What's she going to do now? Am I ever going to see her again? Well, I'm not spendy with going out to restaurants much, so chances are very good by the time I go back next time, she's probably not going to be working there. But, like I said, because I wanted to scurry out the door, I get to the car, and now, like I said, the lot is filled, and all the cars are packed in there like sardinuses. So I said, huh. And the way I was parked and the way the guy next to me was parked made it a little tight to open the door and get in. Nobody was all the way to one side of the spot. The spots are a little bit narrow, and if you're off just a hair either way, and the other guy is off a hair toward you, it gets a little tight. So it was a little tight, but I had no problem getting in. But that reminded me of something from my childhood, and that is going to be the next Old War story. So thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think. Tell me about your poor waiter or waitress experiences. I got a lot more from back in the day, because I had to do that dating game thing back before we got married and that, so I played the field with all of that. So I have plenty of my own stories. But it's nice because it prompted this old war story and another one. So I'm going to tell that one next. Thanks so much. Let me know about your poor experiences, and we'll see how they all stack up in that. Hit like, hit subscribe. Thanks so much. I appreciate all of you. And take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.